Hello, everybody. We hope everybody had a terrific break. Tomorrow, it was going to be today, but tomorrow's going to be a really special day at AMSA. We've got our ribbon cutting ceremony for the phenom scanning electron microscope. There's a big sign there that says thank you to all the fantastic folks at Thermo Fisher who gave us this $500,000 instrument. Mike Glass, Tricia Rice, Katie Ventura, absolutely essential. Just a terrific donation to our school. It's going to help our science program. It's going to help our kids explore the world and inspire them, which is really fantastic. And that day couldn't have come about if it were not for Thermo Fisher. And you know, Mike Glass in particular, who was a board member and who really worked so hard to get that. And also our team here, Lynn McCluskey, Mr. Vidal, Eric Lane, Scott Duray, Ellen Lindsay, and the amazing Mr. Finkel, who have been working really, really hard the past couple weeks, getting this in place, getting it set up, and making sure that tomorrow runs really smoothly. So we are really looking forward to tomorrow, and we hope all of you can come. One other really short update too. Yesterday was the lottery. Went well. This Monday, before the actual lottery, we had a conversation with Allison Bagg of the Department of Education, and she let us know that because Marlboro's MCAS scores dropped them into the bottom 10th percentile, as a result of that, AMSA and other schools of choice are permitted to enroll this year a greater number of Marlboro students. So yesterday, according to the numbers that we have, and we will provide a full report on the enrollment next month in March. Yesterday, 179 Marlboro students applied and 66 were accepted. So 3 big quick updates. So the first is about the transition, the ending of my role as executive director and my replacement by Ms. Lindsay as interim director starting tomorrow. And as executive director starting July 5th. July 1st. We announced the transition February 5th to the entire staff. And with the amazing Mr. Finkel's help, we produced a video, distributed it to the community. Soon after that, we posted for the principal's position. And then on the 11th, we announced the hiring of Mr. Naraki as the next principal. We had a family forum. We had a community council meeting yesterday that also focused on the transition. So talking to people, working through the transitioning, explaining it to them and whatnot. And I think it's very clear that our staff, parents, our students have a great amount of trust in Ms. Lindsay. I'm very optimistic that she is absolutely the right person for the job. The community recognizes that Ellen has been co-leading AMPS for the past 2 years, really the past 3 years before that, frankly. She has the experience, she has the ability, she has the knowledge, she has the care to be an exceptional and inspiring executive director. On the 5th of February, when Ellen spoke to the staff, she gave a very inspiring personal conversation, talk about her own high expectations, belief in high expectations and academic excellence combined with a concern for the well-being of each and every student. So she kind of talked about the importance of the whole child and the importance of having high academic expectations and how the two of them are not in conflict and they're both so important. The community's also responded very well, I believe, to Mr. Naraki, and certainly Ms. Murphy can speak more about this as well. Mike has a decade of experience at AMSA. He first worked in our special education department. He also served as dean for a number of years. In the past 2 years, Mike has worked as vice principal. Like Ellen, Mike has the trust of our entire community. He is a complete and total taskmaster. If you say, Mike, we need something done, it was done before you asked him. He has that amazing ability. He's calm, he's cool, he's collected, he's bright, he's hardworking, he's caring, he's thoughtful. Mike Naraki's AMSA. Last but not least, we've posted for the position of vice principal. Mr. Naraki has gone through the interview process for that position, and he expects to make an announcement certainly by early next week. Second update, the schedule for 2019-2020. We've been kind of updating all of you as we go along. In January, the kids selected their classes. On February 1st, course selection ended. And then shortly before the winter break, our amazing crack scheduling team, Mike and Kate, Joe, Benji, John Morgan, and Brian Bacala, provided department chairs with the class request tallies. And now the rubber is hitting the road, and this coming month into April, the team is now doing the hard, tough work. They're in the weeds, working on building that schedule. And we hope to have the schedule ready by early June, where initial schedule will be provided to teachers, and we will do, as we have the past 2 years, I believe, a move-up day with the students. So everything is on schedule for that. Last big update is the Excellence Committee. On the 13th, Mike Naraki led a meeting of the committee, and several things took place during that meeting. Steve Smith, our terrific English teacher, summarized a letter that was sent out to the entire community that summarizes some of the findings in the student survey, and you can see those findings there. The top priority items that we've been focused on and working around concerning hours spent completing homework, frequency of homework, the form homework takes, whether students are feeling challenged and motivated, and what students see as markers of excellence. So that letter has been sent out to the community. If you haven't seen it, happy to send it. It's also Appendix 1, so you can actually review that. Mike also reviewed several short-term solutions that we are instituting and have already instituted in response to the survey. So Kate Driver's working on a 9th grade orientation day, also working on a 9th and 10th grade seminar. We've redesigned our hiring protocol, and the main key way we've redesigned the hiring protocol is if you look at Appendix 2 and Appendix 3, lots of reading material for all of you today. We really wanted to make sure we have a lot of student input into the hiring process, see what students think about the individual, the prospective teacher. Did they teach well? Did they learn something? And so we created what's called a student model lesson survey, just a list of several basic questions that the department chair can provide to the teachers in the model lesson to get feedback from the students, and members of the Academic Excellence Committee thought it was a terrific idea. Department chairs thought it was a terrific idea. It's not radically different than what we've done before. We've always asked for student input. We've always sought to bring students to model lessons. It really kind of institutionalizes it and makes it very formal, that we really do want to hear from the kids, from the students, what they think. Also, another quick important point, all the departments are now in the process of reviewing homework policies around several key questions. What's the amount of homework that we give? What amount of homework do we give in the lower school? What's the amount of homework we give in the upper school? What's the purpose of homework? Why do we give homework? And what's the penalties for when you don't turn in homework? So all the departments are having that to try to just put on paper what each department believes, and then to see if there are things across departments that we can kind of institutionalize as well in terms of our overall philosophy at AMSA about homework. Two other things that came up during the academic excellence meeting. Two of our excellent math teachers, Tom and Sandra, went on a terrific PD trip to England, to Greenshaw High School, where our fantastic English department chair, Alex Waldron, taught for many years, and they spent several days at the school, and they discussed what they saw, and they were very impressed by how the school engages students, the level of discipline, and the very, very rich academic focus at Greenshaw. And they're actually currently writing up a much larger, more extensive report to see what we can learn from a great school in England, how we could borrow some of their ideas. And then last but not least, Jordan Hill, a great English teacher, presented plans for what is called the Didaro. I don't speak French, but I'll just pretend that's how you say it. Dennis Diderot. I'll say it in American. Dennis Diderot. Say it in English. It's Dennis Diderot. Diderot. Dennis Diderot was a French Enlightenment philosopher who fought against oppression, fought against slavery, fought for reason and freedom and justice and equality. And Jordan has come up with this very interesting plan an after-school plan that includes kind of 5 parts to it. And the purpose of the plan, the purpose of this society is to embrace the joy and the love of learning, and to shine that joy and love of learning and rich, focused academic work across the school. And the way that he's proposing to do that, there's 5 parts to this society. It's going to take a lot of work, but it has a real chance to light some fires here and to really kind of speak to what we're all about. So one part of it is to establish a philosophy club after school, the Diderot Society, that will be focused on fundamental issues such as what is justice, what is right, what is wrong, how do you know what is right, how do you know what is wrong, and to use the great minds of philosophy to examine those issues. Another is an academic journal that would take the great work of our students in English and math and science and history and foreign language and art and publish them in this academic journal, put a feather in the cap of our students, but also really highlight the great work that our students are doing in their classes and that our teachers are doing and our department chairs are doing. Having colloquium nights. You can think of TED Talks, right? To some extent, this is what we're kind of thinking. Having a fall colloquium night and a spring colloquium night where we have teachers discussing their ideas on particular topics, great scholars, great minds. We might have debates. We're kind of working out the details of that, but it's supposed to be a very rich, rewarding academic experience. A series of podcasts as well. That's another part of the Diderot Society, where Jordan, who actually produces he has his own podcast series that he produces. He has this great magisterial voice. He sounds like a kind of a jazz radio guy. He's just terrific. So we would do these, maybe 10, 12 podcasts throughout the year about why is science important, why is math important, why is history important. These big, broad topics that could really advertise what AMSA is all about. And then once we do the broad topics, kind of dig in a little bit and say, okay, we now know why English is important. Tell us, Mr. Smith or Miss Waldron, why is Shakespeare so important? And to give the teachers a chance to talk about their ideas and talk about why they love the subjects, and to have that kind of just ooze out of everybody so that the air that we breathe at AMSA is rich and academic and filled with the joy and love of learning. And then the last part of it is a trip to a place of enlightenment, perhaps the Louvre, perhaps the Galapagos Islands, a place where great discoveries were made. I know I'm over my time.
It's okay.
So, last thing, this is my last report, and I give it with a great sense of optimism and gratitude. I'd like to thank the board for all their support. And Pauline, in particular, I will never, for the rest of my life, and I'll tell my grandkids, the day Pauline, but she said, Anders, I want to talk to you. And I thought, I said, oh, sure. I'm probably just going to talk, there was a time when things weren't really going too well.
How did you know?
Probably, how you feeling? Some thoughts. And she did do that, but then she said, by the way, and it was really scary to me. And I said, I have no idea what I'm doing.
He did.
So, Pauline was kind and very patient and said, trust your team. You have a great team. So thank you, Pauline. And Ellen, for her leadership and friendship. And I could sit here and speak many words about Ellen. Just to be it said that I wouldn't have done it without you. So thank you. Also, we wouldn't have been able to do anything that we have done without just an absolutely terrific administrative team. An administrative team that just works incredibly hard. We've got everybody. Liana's right here. Sarah's right here. You don't say anything. It's just done, and it's done with finesse and style and care and thought and smiles. which is terrific. I would like to say something about Dan Amaral, too. I don't know if he will ever listen to this, but if he does, he always brings joy. He's the dean in the lower school. He makes the most incredible chocolate chip cookies you would ever try. But his country singing needs a lot of work. Dan, if you are listening. And thanks to our amazing teachers and counselors for their hard work, their amazing ideas, their commitment to helping each and every one of our students each and every day. The mission of our school, your passion for teaching is inspirational. And I am really excited about being next door to my colleagues, whether I'm sitting next to Peter Prue or Kevin Doyle or whoever. I'm really looking forward to being right back into the thick of things. And thanks to all of our amazing students. Your smiles, your joy, your love of learning is a wonder and a joy to behold. So thanks to all of you. We have made really great progress the past 2 years, and we've done so as a team, and there's really lots and lots of examples of that, how all of us developed our core values of integrity, excellence, and community, the scheduling of enters, the whole child committee, the communication and consistency task force, academic excellence committee, PD of enters, 1030 committee, union bargaining team, really great amount of teamwork. And I think through it all, we've demonstrated the value of listening to each other, respecting each other, striving to be the best each and every day. Jess Bowen recently told me that at AMSA, we care. We care, she said, we just don't punch the clock and check out. That is AMSA. And that ethic, that care, that sense of trust is the key to our success and will be the key in the coming years as we change and grow and become the best school in the Commonwealth. Thank you, and go Eagles.
I just want to say something in response to that, right? I mean, this was absolutely true. I've been on the board now for just about 7 years, and through that time, worked very closely with 3 prior EDs. And who all had their role in the growth of the organization at that point in time, right? But it was just not quite the right fit, and it was not quite going in the direction that I would say that the board wanted from any of those people. And we knew, right, that there was a lot of difficulty and there was turmoil at the school. We knew that a lot of people were very unhappy. And what was important to all the board members, about half of you were on the board at that time, was someone who got the school and understood what we wanted to achieve, but also it's not just the what, but also the how you do things, because that is so critical. What we're trying to do at AMSA has never been done before. It's very entrepreneurial. If it was easy, someone would have done it. And so we can't pick people who know how to do it. We have to pick people who know how to get the best, a true leader who knows how to get the best out of the entire organization. There's so many passionate people. The community itself is very passionate, beyond even just the teachers and the administrators and the staff. You have parents, you have students who all really do want to pitch in and help. And that was how the school got started, and it was just so important, I would say. The board's values were to look for an ED who could really embody that spirit, both the what and the how. And I think it's sort of when we threw everything out the window and said, what do we really need? Maybe it's not the 25 years of supervisory experience, right? Maybe it's not that. What we really need is someone who gets AMSA and who knows how to be collaborative and bring the best out of people. And we literally sat around and brainstormed and came up with one person. I mean, that was really it. And so when I called him, he had no idea. And I think he had no idea. And I don't think people realize how much he didn't want to do it. Because he did keep saying, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I kept saying, no, you do, actually, you really do. You have the one, like, these are the two things we want, and you have that ability, and we knew that you could do it. And that's why I said, trust the team. All that other stuff, other people can do. But there's this one thing, in the school leader that nobody else really can do. And so I am just thrilled with where the school is now. I'm so thrilled with your leadership the last 2 years. I'm thrilled that Ellen is going to continue. What I will say, I had wanted sort of the school administration to be like 7 years ago. So it's just been a thrill that the last 2 years things have gone so smoothly. And it's not that it's easy, right? I mean, there's a lot of hard work ahead for sure. But I think this is a leadership who appreciates not just what we're trying to achieve, but how to achieve it.
Thank you.
As Vice Chair, I'll have to add my thanks to Anders and Ellen for stepping up into the breach in a very challenging time, and to look back over where we were 2 years ago for where we are now. It is night and day difference. We are moving forward. We are on the right path. We have a long way to go, but it is so great and so exciting to be here and being a small part of this. Thank you again.
Thank you, Roger.
I'll just say it's nice not to be talking about uniforms.
Oh my God.
So thank you. No, it's been great. Really appreciate all your leadership.